Yo ho!
I'm Dave.
This is Marty.
Ekaterina.
And we are Protokult!
Now your album's No Beer in Heaven. How'd that title come out?
Well, we had a song we recorded years ago. It was obviously the beer song. Originally this album was going to be just a 4-track, other like demo EP kind of thing. And then I had to go away for a year. I came back and we had so much material that we decided to make a full-length album. So we went back into the studio. That's why it took over 2 years in the making. But we had a song about beer. We had a song about being kicked out of heaven. So it came from a culmination of that and a famous German drinking song called "In Himmel ist kein Bier," meaning in heaven there's no beer. So it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but dark at the same time.
Yeah.
It's been titled the scariest album title in a review. So it's fun, it's a fun title.
I gotta talk about
Drink now while you can. You never know.
Good thing I'm not going to heaven, so I'm safe. Alright, so I gotta talk about the writing for the album, especially when it comes to the vocal aspect of it.
Right.
How you got the deep growls and then you got like a classical sound going over top of that. Even how did you record that? Is it separate tracks altogether? Did you put it together all at once?
No, usually we record separate tracks, digital and everything. But even, live, it sounds good. It's not a new technique. It's been developed since the early 90s with bands like Theater of Tragedy pioneering that, the Beauty and the Beast style. So it's not a new thing. We're not inventing anything, but we're adding to this genre of folk metal.
Yeah, it's always separate tracks, and usually behind the screen door she's screaming and flaying her arms at me. I'm not perfect, but I try.
So how does the lyrics work then? And does the whole band have something to do with it, or does everybody just take their own part?
Rarely. Sometimes she'll present a few lyrical ideas, but
I fix it.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times I'll have something ready, and we'll kind of she'll add her own influence to it, and if it's good, we keep it. If it needs more work, we kind of sit on it and develop it as a team.
We co-write some tracks. It's his. He writes it, but when I get to sing, whenever I either change it to whatever my vocals are, or I add my own. So some songs are a combination of both co-writing.
And now how does the instrumental aspect of it work? Everybody just comes with their own idea, or do you guys kind of fight over should it sound this way or that way?
If there was a set formula, I would tell you.
Yeah.
But then I'd have to kill you. But most of the time it's just a riff. Like I'll have a collection of riffs and we'll expand on that. Rarely, but sometimes a vocal line or melody, and sometimes it just takes a few seconds of inspiration and awesomeness, and then it just flows naturally.
Yeah.
With the assistance of certain substances.
Okay. Now, did you have many songs that didn't make the cut for this album?
We actually had quite the opposite, where we had a few songs that maybe we could have considered doing for the past album, but we just didn't feel we were, ready with our experience in regards to recording them and presenting them the way we expected it to be. So while we do have a couple of tracks, that still need to be recorded at some point in time, this effort of ours was really a combination of newer tracks that we produced, such as Get Me a Beer, but also some of the older ones, like people heard us play The Water of Life for several years prior to that.
They've heard it for many years, and it was a time to get it down properly, but back then we didn't have the means or the quality to get it down, and the timing was perfect. So yeah, there's a couple of tracks we left out. There's a couple of newer tracks that are, all I can say is insanely fast-paced, and maybe in the future you'll hear it. But for now it was just, completely, most of it was brand new, and then some of it was just stuff we've developed over the years and been meaning to record but never got the chance.
Yeah. Now talking about the first single as well, Get Me a Beer, how did you guys decide to put that off as your first single?
It was pretty self-explanatory because this album we've experimented with some of the gothic symphonic metal elements, psychedelia, Viking metal, but I find those genres are, they're becoming too stagnant and just kind of overdone. So we decided, first video, who wants to look at, a bunch of dudes in a room sweaty and jamming, and then, the lady makes up for it, but that's not good enough. We like to have fun. We're not very serious people, as you can tell. So what can everybody relate to? Beer. And we decided to have fun with it. We developed a storyline, and most of the events in the storyline have happened to us or bands in general. Like, being late for the show, getting kicked out of venues, shit like this. So it's a lot of people can relate to it.
Nice. Now, you guys have another favorite track off the album that you might think about releasing as a second single?
As a single? Oh, damn.
That one's hard. I mean, probably I would say my personal favorite would be Soul Intention. While some of our tracks are, really fast-paced and everything, I find it's usually with the slower, more groovier ones where, the sound's really being mastered, and I would say the vocal ranges are really being tested to their limits to, just show what we can do.
Yeah, we can't comment on that at this point, really. Just we're gonna have fun with this single, and if it's gonna be something completely different in the future, don't be surprised. That's all I can say.
And do you guys have any tours in plan for it, or just kind of?
Right now, we're looking at the Ontario college towns. Definitely coming back to Quebec before the winter, I would like to, and eventually hit the States, which would be new territory, and test it out there. So.
Or Europe would be probably a suitable fit compared to downtown Toronto sort of deal.
Yeah.
Still, the one thing that blew me away with your genre when I saw you're playing from Toronto, I was like, what?
Yeah. A lot of people get surprised. They're like, wow, I never knew those guys were from Toronto. Where have you been all my life?
but a lot of our influences actually come from a lot of the upbringings we've had. I mean, most of us weren't even born in Toronto, having come from Poland, Katya from Kazakhstan. A lot of the influences from there is what really shines in our folk music and our lyrics. And I think, embracing both parts of who we are and who we were is, it definitely lives in our music, and that's an important aspect of it.
Now, where can people find you guys on the internet to even check you out?
I don't even have a Facebook, so the tech department is right there.
We have an official website, protokult.com. All the news are there. Facebook, we have that, and also all the music you can find on Bandcamp. Yep. So.
Now, can people pre-order the album already? Or
yes, it's through Bandcamp. You can pre-order the albums actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks.
And if you're heading down this Saturday, July 26th, to our show, we'll have physical copies available to sell before the official.
Are you saying physical CDs still exist?
iTunes hasn't killed them off yet, the fuckers.
No. We have worked so hard on this, just the inside artwork itself. I mean, I know we're sort of outdated, but a lot of, I don't know how many artists were involved, at least 4 or 5, right? 4 or 5 just doing the logo, the artwork and design. A lot of people worked on it, so nice. Thank you so much whoever participating in making of this album.
Overall, in addition to that, I just want to put like a general thank you, because on top of the artwork, I mean, the sheer amount of musicians that we have the video coming out, the sheer amount of people involved in that, and overall, it's definitely that feels something very special that so many people believe in the cult and, take time out of their days to help us out and, with what's important to us. That's definitely a very special thing. So cheers to everybody that helped us out.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, thanks for your time. It's awesome.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.